Welcome to this presentation, 10 Tips for Effective Cross-Cultural Communication by Ken Biddington. In today's multicultural communities, communication issues can take on an added dimension of complexity. Every culture has its own set of tacit assumptions and tendencies when it comes to face-to-face interaction, and trying to get your point across effectively can sometimes be difficult. Even when a language barrier doesn't exist, cross-cultural communication can be challenging. Here are 10 tips for effective cross-cultural communication. Number 1. Maintain etiquette. Many cultures have specific etiquette around the way they communicate. Before you meet, research a target culture, or if time allows, do some cross-cultural training. For example, many cultures expect a degree of formality at the beginning of communication between individuals. Every culture has its own specific way of indicating this formality. Herr or Frau in Germany, reversing family and given names in China, and the use of san in Japan for men and women, etc. Be aware of these familiarities, tokens, and don't jump straight to first name terms until you receive a cue from the other person to do so. Number 2. Avoid slang. Not even the most educated non-native English speaker will have a comprehensive understanding of English slangs, idioms, and sayings. They may understand the individual words you may have said, but not the context or its meaning. As a result, you could end up confusing them or at worst offending them. Number 3. Speak slowly. Even if English is the common language in a cross-cultural situation, it's not a good idea to speak at your normal conversational speed. Modulating your pace will help, as will speaking clearly and pronouncing your words properly. Break your sentence into short, definable sections and give your listeners time to translate and digest your words as you go. But don't slow down too much, as it might seem patronizing. If the person you're speaking to is talking too quickly or the accent is making it difficult for you to understand them, don't be afraid to politely ask them to slow down too. Number 4. Keep it simple. In a cross-cultural conversation, there's no need to make it harder for both of you by using big words. Just keep it simple. 2-syllable words are much easier to understand than 3-syllable words. Or 1-syllable words are better than 2-syllable words. Say, please do this quickly, rather than, please do this in an efficient manner. Number 5. Practice active listening. Active listening is a very effective strategy for improving cross-cultural communication. Restate or summarize what the other person has said, to ensure that you have understood them correctly, and ask frequent questions. This helps build rapport and ensure that important information doesn't get missed or misunderstood. Number 6. Take turns to talk. Make the conversation flow more freely by taking it in turns to speak. Make a point and then listen to the other person's response. Particularly when people are speaking English as their second language, it's better to talk to them in short exchanges rather than delivering a long monologue that might be difficult for them to follow. Number 7. Avoid closed questions. Don't phrase a question that needs a yes or no answer. In many cultures, it is difficult or embarrassing to answer in the negative, so you'll always get a yes even if the real answer is no. Ask open-ended questions that require information as a response instead. Number 8. Be careful with humor. Many cultures always take initial conversation very seriously and believe in behaving professionally and following protocol. Consequently, they don't appreciate the use of humor and jokes in a certain context. If you do decide to use humor, make sure it will be understood and appreciated in the other culture and not cause offense. Number 9. Be supportive. Effective cross-cultural communication is about all parties feeling comfortable. In any conversation with a non-native English speaker, treat them with respect. Do your best to communicate clearly and give them encouragement when they respond. This will help build their confidence and trust in you. And number 10, be respectful. People from other cultures aren't always going to take your body language or other nonverbal communication in the way you mean them. What you think is harmless may be offensive or confusing to them. The same goes for the language you use. Always consider their point of view when communicating.